Diving into the latest buzz around Major League Baseball, one name that keeps popping up in connection with the New York Yankees is Luis Robert. The young outfielder, who's about to turn 28, has had a roller coaster of a career so far, and this season hasn't been kind to him. His current numbers are quite underwhelming compared to his past performances. Hitting just 184 with 6 home runs and 26 RBIs alongside an OPS sitting at 574, it's clear that Luis is struggling to find his groove. On top of that, he has a team option for the next 2 years, both set at $20 million each. But with how he's been playing this year, it looks like the Yankees, or any team interested really, would likely pass on picking up those options, which means Robert would hit free agency at the end of this season. Now you might be wondering why the Yankees are even considering a guy who's clearly off his peak. The simple answer is that Luis Robert still carries a ton of upside, even if his recent play has been disappointing. Once regarded as one of the brightest young talents in the game, Robert has the tools that every team dreams of: speed, power, a strong arm, and the ability to steal bases. He's already swiped 21 this year. The hope would be that New York, with its superior coaching staff and competitive environment, could help him bounce back. But it's important to set realistic expectations here. He's not walking in to claim a starting spot every day. The Yankees have a crowded outfield roster with guys like Trent Grisham, Jason Dominguez, Cody Bellinger, and Ben Rice all vying for playing time. Not to mention, Giancarlo Stanton is making his return soon, which further complicates the lineup shuffle. So if Robert comes aboard, the smart money says he's more of a bench player, a depth piece who could be used in spot starts or pinch hit situations. That's a far cry from the star he was back in 2023 when he put up 38 homers, drove in 80 runs, and posted an impressive 857 OPS. That season earned him an All-Star nod, a Silver Slugger award, and he finished 12th in the MVP voting. But since then, things have gone downhill fast. Injuries and inconsistent play have held him back. And despite his talent, he just hasn't been able to deliver on the field. There's also the question of roster fit. The Yankees are currently focused on developing young talent like Jason Dominguez, who's just 22 and showing steady improvement. Dominguez is hitting .246 with 6 homers, 25 RBIs, and a .742 OPS, numbers that outshine Robert so far this year. The team is clearly invested in his growth, so it makes little sense to take playing time away from him to accommodate someone who might still be trying to figure things out. On top of that, Grisham has been getting time as a platoon guy, performing well enough to make a case for regular at-bats. If Robert signs with the Yankees, the coaching staff will have to juggle how to give him opportunities without stunting the development of the younger guys. This balancing act is tricky because the outfield is already packed, and adding Robert just adds more competition for limited plate appearances. And if the Yankees decide to move on from someone like Pablo Reyes to make room, then that creates a hole in the infield since Reyes can cover multiple positions. And if the team then has to rely on someone like Ben Rice to fill that void, it complicates the roster even further. There's no doubt that Robert's reputation and skill set make him an intriguing option. If he manages to regain his form, even as a bench player, he could be a valuable asset. Maybe the Yankees environment helps him catch lightning in a bottle again, and he starts producing at the level everyone expected a few years ago. But right now it feels like a gamble. A player who was once considered a future star is now a wild card who might just end up riding the bench. In contrast, looking at other options, Everson Pereira has quietly been putting together a strong campaign. In AAA, hitting .253 with 10 home runs and an .822 OPS, Pereira is a right-handed bat who could fit nicely into the Yankees' plans, especially considering their need for that type of hitter. Giving someone like him a shot makes more sense if you're looking to add right-handed power and depth without disrupting the lineup's core. The Yankees seem to be walking a tightrope between fostering their young prospects and trying to get immediate contributions from veterans or reclamation projects like Robert. It's a difficult balance, especially when you have guys like Dominguez who's showing promising signs of development and others like Grisham who are making the most of their opportunities. You don't want to stunt their growth by pushing them to the sidelines for a player who's currently struggling to find his footing. One thing is clear, Robert's injury last season really set him back. He played just 100 games and looked far from the player he once was. The physical setbacks combined with a dip in performance have made him a risky acquisition. But if the Yankees do pursue him, it means they believe the upside still outweighs the risk. The hope would be to tap into that raw talent and maybe reignite the spark that made him one of baseball's most exciting young stars. However, considering the roster and the players who would lose time because of his arrival, it feels like a move more about depth than about building a core lineup. It's about adding an experienced player who could fill in when needed but won't disrupt the progression of younger talent. For a team chasing championships, having that depth is valuable. But it's also important not to clog the path for prospects who could be the future. So when we think about the Yankees and Luis Robert, it's not about expecting a star to suddenly re-emerge and carry the team. It's about calculating risk and reward and seeing if this player can find his game again in the best baseball environment out there. The chance of Robert returning to form could make the bench deeper and more versatile. But the reality is he will likely be a bench player waiting for his moment to contribute. The Yankees might just be banking on their ability to fix him or at least get something useful out of him in limited duty, continuing from where we left off. Let's shift focus a bit and talk about another intriguing young outfielder, Spencer Jones. There's been quite a bit of chatter about Jones lately, some people hyping him up as the next big thing, even going so far as to compare him to players like Joey Gallo. Now, while I'm a big fan of Spencer Jones and recognize the potential he brings to the table, I think some of these comparisons miss the mark. Jones is a unique player with skills that don't exactly mirror those of Gallo or other stars. This season, Jones has been dealing with a bit of an injury setback, but since his return, he's been trying to find his rhythm. Through the games he's hitting around 220 with 10 home runs, 19 RBIs, and an OPS close to 859. He's also stolen 8 bases, which highlights one of his most valuable traits, his speed on the bases. Unlike Gallo, who has always been a bit of a feast or famine hitter with tons of strikeouts and less emphasis on base running, Jones combines power with exceptional base stealing ability. To put it in perspective, Spencer swiped 43 bases last year and had 25 the year before that. Compare that to Gallo's career total of around 33 stolen bases, and it's clear that Jones brings a different dynamic to the table. His speed and agility in the outfield also set him apart, making him a standout defender. Some people have tried to lump him in with Aaron Judge or Kyle Tucker, but those comparisons feel premature. Judge and Tucker are proven stars with several accolades and Silver Slugger awards to their names. Jones is still carving out his path and has yet to show the consistency and power those two possess. That said, he has the potential to develop into a very valuable player if he continues to refine his approach at the plate and cut down on strikeouts, which have been a bit of a weakness for him. The Yankees face an interesting dilemma with Jones and their outfield depth overall. If the team goes after someone like Kyle Tucker in the offseason, where does that leave Jones? It's a question worth asking because the outfield could become crowded quickly, and the front office will have to decide how to balance developing their young talent with acquiring established stars. Jones is clearly on the radar as a key piece moving forward, especially with his combination of speed and defensive prowess, but there's no denying that adding a player like Tucker would shake things up and force some tough roster decisions. As for Jones, the ideal path would be to continue building on his strengths and addressing the areas that need improvement. His ability to get on base, steal bases, and play strong defense makes him a valuable asset, even if his power numbers aren't yet on par with the league's elite. The key for the Yankees will be to give him enough opportunities to grow without overwhelming him with expectations or forcing comparisons that don't fit his style of play. But before we continue, please remember to join our channel and give this video a like. Your support allows us to keep bringing you the latest news about the New York Yankees. Feel free to share your thoughts on the news in the comments. Rumors are beginning to swirl in the baseball world as insiders suggest that HAYES, the Pittsburgh Pirates' standout third baseman, might be on the radar of the New York Yankees. While nothing is confirmed, the Bronx has never been a stranger to bold moves. This potential acquisition has all the makings of a classic Yankees maneuver. Hayes, known for his elite glove work and smooth footwork at the hot corner, would be a defensive upgrade for any team, and the Yankees are no exception. With New York's infield defense under scrutiny in recent seasons, the addition of a player like Hayes could offer the kind of stability and highlight reel plays that the fan base has been craving. Though his bat has yet to reach the elite level many scouts once projected, his defensive prowess is among the best in baseball, already earning Gold Glove consideration at just 27 years old. Word around league executives is that the Yankees have quietly inquired about Hayes' availability, intrigued by the idea of locking down third base for the foreseeable future. While the Pirates are still in the midst of a rebuild, moving Hayes would require a significant return, something the Yankees farm system could potentially deliver, especially with top prospects and young pitchers to offer. Of course, these murmurs may amount to little more than hot stove chatter. Hayes is under team control for several more seasons, and Pittsburgh hasn't shown clear signs they're ready to part with their defensive cornerstone. But in the Bronx, pressure for immediate success is always high. If the Yankees believe Hayes could be a missing piece in their championship puzzle, don't be surprised if these whispers turn into something louder. For now, it's just speculation. But as July's trade deadline inches closer, this is one name fans might want to keep an eye on. Could BRYAN Hayes in pinstripes? It's not impossible, and the buzz is only growing. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the New York Yankees, please subscribe to our channel and give us a like. We always appreciate your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.